Good afternoon. How are we all today? Just checking that I am live where I want to be. We never know. Technology doesn't always do what we want it to, does it? Yeah, we're there. Right. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I am the face behind Lisa's Loft. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the West Midlands, in the Black Country. Yeah, you can tell by my accents, don't really need to explain that, do I? But hey ho. I'm here to help you and inspire you with all your papercraft needs, whether that's supplies, inspiration, helpful hints and tips, whatever. If I can help you, I will. Now, I'd just like to share what I do. Crafting is my hobby. Papercrafts are my hobby. Being an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator gives me a little bit of a business. That, yeah, I can provide products, fantastic products, to help you on your way. But enough about that. Well, no, it's connected with that, actually. A lot of you may know, you can join Stampin' Up. It's open to everyone. You can join as a hobby demo. You don't have to demonstrate anything. And you may know that I've also mentioned like kidnappers, people that join for the kit because the kit is excellent value. And then that's it. They drop and they just carry on purchasing products from myself or from their demonstrator. But, you know, you get free products. Now, our usual joining price is £99. And for that £99, you get to choose £130 worth of product. So, yeah, you're getting £31 worth of product for free. Well, Stampin' Up have outdone themselves this time. And we all know there's reasons behind this. They are a business. They are there to make money. I'm not going to hide anything from you. Stampin' Up don't hide things from us. There's no need. But for the whole of October, we have got the most phenomenal joining offer. Now, you can spend the £99 as normal, but instead of choosing £130 worth of product, you will choose £194 worth of product. So yeah, you're getting £95 worth of product for free. And all as you do is go on to join, choose your product up to £194, not a penny over. So it's trial and error on getting it right. And you will only pay £99. And you then become a Stampin' Up demonstrator, where if you wish, you can turn it into a side hustle or stay active and get your 20% discount off any future orders, or you can never touch it ever again, your account, and just carry on purchasing as you do now. Not an issue. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, fine. But obviously, we hope that you'll stay and join our happy little family of crafters. But they're also doing another option where you still get £130 worth of product. But if that £99 is a bit out of reach, because who's got in this day £100 basically spare? Not a lot of us. So instead, you pay. So I've got it all written down here. That's why I keep checking. I don't want to mislead. You pay £35 for £130 worth of product. And again, you're getting £95 worth of product for free. Now, not only do you get the product, you get welcomed into the wonderful family. You get free shipping on that. You then go on to get your 20% discount. there's events and that you can join if you stay a demonstrator. If you join my team, you become part of Lisa's Lambs. I'm here to help you all the way. And you also get included in the wider team, which is with my upline, Louise Sims, and the Stampin' Senoritas. But we also get higher than that and the wider team and that as well, which is Queen Pip and Stampin' Royals. You get included in all that, the team meetings that we have. Everybody's really supportive. But yeah, if you're thinking of joining or have been thinking of joining and want more information, do let me know. I just really wanted to tell you about this because it is a fantastic opportunity. I am going to be putting it out there. You're probably going to get sick of me putting it out there, to be honest. I'm going to try not and overdo it. But I am going to shout about it because it is fantastic. And what we do, I think, is fantastic. Right, that's that. Second thing, album. Mini albums. You know I love making mini albums. I don't do as many as I'd like. Time, life is here. It happens. But things are changing. So I'm hoping that I can start and do more. This is my latest. I will change cameras and we will have a run through it. And then I shall tell you a bit more. So this is 6.5 by 8.25, if I remember rightly. 6.5, 8.25. It's a bit more once you've covered it, but the actual starting piece is that. So I've used the North Pole Delivery Specialty Designer Series paper for this. So I've used that. I've used a die for the back here that's from the branching out dies, but you could use any. I just wanted something to allow the bits I put on the front to pop out a little bit, stand out, because they got lost against the background. I've used the real red shiny ribbon and cardstock, Paul Party cardstock, a little bit of garden green here just on my front, and then I've used the keeping tabs die but we haven't got the die anymore. We've got the punch, or you could use any tab punch. So let's have a look at this. It's only going to be a quick run through. So we've got photo mats in a stacked pocket on our cover. Our first page opened with a ribbon, and we open it up and we've got a little pop-up for 4 photos on there. Now if we close that, each page has an opening with a slide pull out. Then on this back of page 1 we have a pocket with a flap and a photo mat. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Here we have a flap that's got a side pocket with a photo mat, another flap with a top pocket and a photo mat, and another flap with a pocket and a photo mat. Lots of places to put photos. Another pull out. Again on the back we've got our flap and our photo mat in a pocket. This page is a simple belly band that's got a photo mat, and we've got a little pocket here which is for little keepsakes. Another pull out. Again we've got a flap with a pocket and a photo mat here, and then this page is the same as the second page with a flap, side pocket, photo mat, flap at the top pocket and a photo mat, and a flap with a pocket and a photo mat. And then on the back of there again we have a flap with a pocket, a photo mat, and then a stacked pocket on the back with photo mats. And there you go. I know that was a very quick run through, but I don't want to waste too much time today showing you, but I did want to show you. I'm going to be uploading this onto my website tomorrow as a tutorial that you can purchase. It'll be a written tutorial with a link to a video run through on YouTube, and that will be available for £10 for the tutorial. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Right, back to today. I need a drink. I'm talking lots. Now, they do say, don't they, about showing up, warts and all. And you may have noticed, I haven't exactly got a wart, but I've got a cold sore. So I apologise about that. I did try to get rid of it for today, but it's not happening. So this is where I am. I have been feeling a little bit down. Well, no, not down. Run down. A bit tired. I did probably about 15 hours sleep the other day. And yeah, I'm getting better. I'm still tired. Excuse me. As she yours. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. So today we are using the Mixed Media Florals Suite. So we've got some lovely embellishments. We have the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder, which this is currently available to purchase on its own from Last Chance. We've got the Mixed Labels bundle, which this separate are on Last Chance. We've got the Mixed Florals bundle, which is still currently available and staying. And then we've got the papers. Now, I haven't got lots of the paper left. This is partly the reason I decided to showcase this week, because I was low on paper. So I thought, right, let's use this up. But also then I realised that because these are in the Last Chance, it's another reason for me to highlight them to you again. So I'm going to be making a fun fold today, and it's one that I made for mystery stamping for our team meeting. And I thought, you know what, we'll do it today. Now, because I haven't got a lot of paper left, I need to work out what paper I'm going to use, and I'm going to try and find something that I've got enough of to cut the pieces I need. But yeah, so that's got a lot of the blue, so I could just do the blue. What's that piece? Right, okay, so I need a piece that's 14.4. Actually, that one would do. And then a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5. The black and white on the back of there. Got a strip. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough of that. No. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been nice, actually. So I could do that and then something different on there. Right, yeah. Let's go with this. And then I'll do something a little bit different for the other piece. Might even do that, actually. We'll see if that's big enough. Well, that one might look nice. Let's have a look. It's the problem when you're using up your scraps and your leftovers. Which is nice to do, but you it can be awkward to try and find enough of something. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's not a problem. Right. So first of all, let's cut my paper. So I want a piece that is 14.4 by 5.5. And I know I'm doing this a bit backwards by cutting the paper, but by determining which paper I'm using determines what colour card base I'm going to use. So for 5.5 by 14.4. So I hope we're all having a lovely day. We've got sunshine here, which is very nice. And then I need a 5.5, 8.5, which I know I haven't got. I don't think. Oh, you know what? I have. Oh, wow. Oh, that's good. I can keep it all the same. Not that it has to be the same, but it's just nice to have it the same. I prefer that end. Yeah, we've got lovely sunshine. I've got washing out, which is great. Now this one has got a bit of a direction, as you can see, but I think I can get away with that being side on, because that'll be that way. It's so busy that I don't think you're really going to notice. Is that 8.5? Oops. It is. So we want that bit, that can go away. And then I want two that are 8.5 by 2. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, 8.5. Do I want two? No, I only want one. So I've got that one. That's it. 3 pieces of that. Excellent. I'll pop those away. And because I've used that, I'm going to go with a card base for that. I think I'm going to do some flowers on here. I might go Calypso Coral. It's not a colour I use a lot of, but I think for this I'm going to use it. So I need a 16.5 by 14.9. So I know that's 14.9 because it's pre-cut, and a 16.5, which that one is there, just the other side of our split. And we're going to score that at 10.5. And that's going to be our main card base. And then I need a piece that is 25.5. So let's grab another piece of card by 9. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half as I would at 10.5. So I've got 1/2 that's a card base. Ready. And then this I will trim down to 25.5. Keep our scraps by 9. That's it. And then I'm going to score this at 5. 7.5, 13.5. I've just heard a car pull up outside. 19.5. I'm not expecting anybody. There we go. And then we need some basic white. That is, let's see, so I need one that's 14.4 by 10, which is our standard layer, first layer. And then I've got some scraps here, see if I've got pieces big enough. So I need a 14. No, I don't, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 4.5 by 8.5, so this will be big enough for that. 4.5. That's 4.5 by 8.5. And then we want 3 8.5 by 5.5. Is that big enough for a 5.5? It is. So 8.5 by 5.5. These seem ever so small, I know, but it works, believe me. 5 no, that's too small. 8.5 by 5.5. So what's everybody been up to? Anything exciting? Making the most of the gorgeous weather, I hope. Again, 8.5 by 5.5. I'm currently doing some training on growth for my business, and we're looking at who we are, why we do what we do, and things like that. And it fits in actually with something that I decided I wanted to do. I don't think I need that piece. I'd wanted to do a post of who I am, what I do, why I do what I do, why I joined Stampin' Up, and why you should join Stampin' Up. But I thought, you know what? I think I might wait until my cold sores disappeared. I think it might be better. Right, so I've just folded our card base in half, so we've got the shorter piece on the front, and then with our long piece that's got our score marks on, I've got a larger piece, the 2.5 centimetre piece there, and then 3 pieces that are all the same. So with our first score line, I'm going to do a mounting fold so that the fold comes up towards me. Okay, and then with our second fold, I'm going to do the same, a mounting fold again, so it comes up towards me. So at the moment, I've got that. Then on our third score line, I'm going to do a valley away from me. Burnish that. So we've got that. And then on our final score line, I'm going to do a valley again. Score there. And then I'm just going to check that that will close nicely. Now, as you can see, I've got a bit of a bow there. And it's because when we're scoring, it's not as thin as a cut. It's got some depth to it. So sometimes the scores are slightly to the left or right of the exact mark. So it just might be that you need to take a slither off there. Just so. Oh, I need a bit more. I did take a slither, but it wasn't a big enough slither. But that's okay. I'd rather do it that way than take too much. Look, I mean, look, they are tiny slithers that I'm taking off. They're that small, look, there we go, and that's perfect. That closes nicely. Dear, I'm ever so dry and yeah, it's odd. Okay, so we've got that. Right, so on this piece, our base piece, I'm going to put my first our piece that we've got, that's a first standard layer. That is 10 by 14.9. No. Yeah, 10 by 14.4. Get it right, Lise. Brain fog still, but that's me. I'm just going to glue that to the inside of our card as I would normally. If you wanted to do some stamping on here, you could, but I don't want to. Right, then I'm going to glue my piece of designer series paper that is 5.5 by 14.4 onto the front. Now there is the option of adding another piece the same onto the inside if you want to, but I think it depends what papers you're using, what colours you're using. I'll show you some different examples after, how busy you want it. I like it left plain, so which is why I've done that. I know some people, when I did this as mystery stamping, they decided that they'd like to put designer series paper on here as well, which that's fine, and maybe a different one to contrast with it, but I'm keeping mine like this. How you do yours is entirely up to you. Right, so we've got a 25.5 piece with all our score lines. So basic white pieces, we've got 3 that are the same. The 3 measure 5.5 by 8.5, and then we've got 1 that's 4.5 by 8.5, and that smaller one is our front panel, which will go there. And then our 3 others will fit on each of those panels. We've got our small piece of designer series paper that's 2 centimeters wide that's going to go on there. I'll just pop that on. The reason I'm not gluing these down yet is because I want to stamp on them, and if I stamp on them and it goes horribly wrong, I'm stuck with them then, more so than if I just do them after. So I'm going to take those off so that I know where each piece goes. I'm going to close my right hand flap over, and I'm going to add my other piece of designer series paper on there. There we go. Okay, just like that. And I just do all my, well, the majority of when I'm matting and layering, just 0.5 centimetre difference, just so it gives you a nice border all the way around. Right, so now we can start doing some decoration. And for the front panel, I'm going to use, what have we got in here? I'm just going to check what I've got, what dies we've got, because all mine are together and it's hard to see. Oh, so that would be quite nice on there, but I'm not sure with how this goes. Those die cut my 2, but I could do the smaller one on here. In fact, we'll see how it looks. Right, I'm going to stamp first on here, which this is my front panel, and I'm going to stamp the green, the foliage leaves image on here. Oops, drop some bits out. So let me grab a block. Is that one big enough? Yeah. And then I want a green, and I believe it's old olive in this. I think. Sure, that looks like old olive. It might be granny apple actually. I always forget. That's garden green. Let me just do a bit of a test on here. It does look like old olive. No, it's not. It must be Granny Apple. I don't know what every colour is all the time. I don't think anybody does. You look at something and you think it's one, and then actually when you look at it close, it's like, no, that's not that. Especially when there's different tones of it. Like on this paper, there's lots of different tones of the same colour. Alright, so we've got our Granny Apple. Green. Shouldn't just call it Granny Apple, should I? And I'm going to stamp that on here. Off to the left hand side, but just so it fits. Like so. Fabulous. That's a much better colour. Alexa, stop. I don't remember asking her a question at all. Right, then I'm going to bring in another scrap for some stamping of basic white, and I'm going to stamp this little flower image here. Another block. That's a bit big, but it will do. And then I'm going to stamp that in Calypso Coral. In fact, no, yes I will. I'd like the green's green. I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers because we've still got Stampin' Right markers at the moment. Though they are all on last chance. But by using Stampin' Right markers, we can get 2 colours on one stamp. So I can do my stems green. I mean, this works better on red rubber, but I have done it on photopolymer. There we go. Just that's all the stem bits that I can see, and then we'll just do our flowers in Calypso Coral. It's a great technique, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do without the Stampin' Right markers. But Stampin' Up have decided that they need to retire, and it won't have been a decision they've made lightly. There's obviously a reason why they're doing it. They're not selling, or I mean, it's silly for a company to stop something that's not selling. There we go. As you can see, you don't get a perfect stamp because of it being on photopolymer, because it all tends to bubble a little bit, but I'm more than happy with the way that looks. And then we've got a die that we can die cut this out. Just bring in my machine. I've got an emboss machine. This is my mini. I love my little mini. It's, I find it a lot easier to use, and especially like to move it over to my desk. It's not as heavy. Alright, let's have a look at this. Put that there. So we've got our stamp foliage with our little flower in front, and then I will add a sentiment after. Alright, so I'm going to stick this on here. You know, looking at it then, I was like, I've cut it wrong. It looks too tall because it's so narrow, but no, it's right. go. Fab. I'm going to raise this up on dimensionals. There's quite a few little pieces to this card, but it is a fab fun fold. Have that just off there. Right, now we've got our 3. Right, I want sentiments, and I think I'm going to make this. I'm going to make it a thank you, so I have a thank you on the front, and then on the inside, I'm so glad we're friends. I think that'll look nice. Oops. Just in the middle of that there. And I am going to stamp in. I'm going to do this in Memento, so we will have that black. Oh. For the sentiment, because there is black in the papers. Okay. I'm sorry if you see my head, I just want to get this level. It's not too bad actually. Probably not perfect, but it's okay. Add a bit of glue. So yeah, I've had a very productive day today so far. I was up early for me, up at 7 to get Hayden up because Hayden's gone to uni for the day. So I put some washing in. I've done 2 loads. They're out on the washing line, blowing. And then I've stripped my bed, and that's now in the washing machine. I've done my housework that I needed to do. So yeah, it's been good. I've had my breakfast. I like getting up earlier. It means I can still sit about and chill. But then, so I'm thinking, still sit about and chill, but I haven't lost too much time. Right, so I'm going out of this mixed labels. We've got this little flower here that's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to grab that and get a little block to pop that on. And then I'm going to do this in Calypso Coral. And I am just going to do this all in Calypso Coral straight. I'm just going to have that on one of my panels to the left. Nice. And then on my other panel, I shall bring in, I think I'm going to use this green foliage again on this one. In fact, I should have swapped them round, but that's okay. I'm wondering actually if that should go on there and then the green, but I'm thinking it's too much green altogether, so no, I am going to go with what I've done. Oops. And we will ink that up in our Granny Apple Green. I want a bit of scrap grid paper, which has got measurements on it for something I've done. And then I'm going to do one higher towards the middle, and then it's stamped off a bit lower, like so. And that just fills that with some nice stamping. Right. And now I want to glue those on. When I thought of doing this, this isn't what I thought at all. I was going to use one of the large stamped images on the front. So it's something totally different to the others that I've done. Oh, I glued that. But this is how I've done it. It's turned out. Sometimes you just have to go with it, don't you? I don't like having a steadfast plan because 9 times out of 10 it changes. Right, now this, if we fold it, this will fit on here. And we're going to fix it so that the front, this front panel, little one sits on this long front panel up to the score line. So the score line will be level with the edge of that panel. And we're going to glue that onto there so that then the rest will just be loose. So if we add glue just to that panel, yeah, I never like to have an exact plan. I have an idea, but then I just like to go with it. All right, so I'm going to get that so it's somewhat central, top to bottom, and line up my score line with the edge of the front of my card, like so. Then we can fold all that back, but so that that thin strip is forward. Flip it over and then add adhesive to the back of that, and then we can close that onto it like so. Turn it over, and that should all be in place so that when you open it, you get that. How cute is that? And it'll fit in a standard envelope. Yes, it's quite bulky, so it's going to be one that you're going to deliver by hand maybe. But I think that's great. And I like having that panel there, the base colour and the white behind here, with having quite a busy paper there. I think it allows it to pop that little bit more. Right, so we'll do our little thank you for the front, which we've got a tiny little die in here that'll look nice. Let's bring in our stamping mat again. Oh no, I don't need it, do I? I've got cling. It's already got the foam on it. And I'm going to do that in Memento. Beautiful. Nice stamp that is. I love that. So I'm going to miss that stamp. I love a nice little thank you. Sometimes you don't want anything too fussy or in your face. Make sure I've got that lined up. Yeah. Okay. Moving that through. There we go. Go in the bin. Pop that back so that we don't lose that. And then I'm going to add this, if I can pick it up, on here with dimensionals. Have one there and one in the middle, and then that end will glue onto there. And I think Got some twine on, I think. Had a nice bit of linen thread, maybe. And have a nice little bow at the end of there. I do like linen thread. I've used a lot of it with this suite. And a lot of the cards I've been sharing with you this week. There we go. I'll cut that off so that it's around the same length, and then we can trim to suit. Okay, glue dot. If I take the backings off those, I'll probably find that the glue dot can be used to stick this end down and our bow in place. I'm just going to pop that onto there. I've got it somewhat, oops, twist that round a little bit. That's what I like about glue dots, you can move it a little bit if you're not 100% happy with where you've got it. Right, and we can add that to our card. We've just got a little bow on there. Just want to trim that a little bit. That's it. And then put those away. Try and keep place tidy. And then these are the Gems low profile dots. These come with the suite, but I think I'm going to go for something a bit different. Let's see what we've got. We've got some little tiny bees. We've got some white iridescent basic pearls. That might be nice. Those are the wrong colour. No, they're flirty. No. I've only got 2 of those. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with these iridescent pearls. I think they'll look the best. Actually, I'm running out of these. Noticed the other day I'm running out of quite a lot of my embellishments. Actually, I haven't got as many as I like to keep. One there, large one there, and then some little ones up here. There we go. Just 3 little pearls on there. Love that. I'm pleased with that. Calypso Coral, like I say, isn't a colour that I usually go to. But I think that looks quite nice. Alright, pop that away. And then I will show you the other versions that I've made. So I did a Halloween version, just using the Spooky Sweet papers and the die cuts, just like so. No sentiment in that one. And then I made a Christmas one using the Gift of Joy stamp set, which is a lovely simple stamp set, really cute. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Right, so let's do another card. I've got some more tea. And for this card, I want to use the embossing folder. Again, I'm just trialing something, how it'll work. I don't know. I'm just going with it. I love this embossing folder. I haven't got a standard card layer cut. I've used them all. That's my job this afternoon then. Cut some more layers. I like to have a few layers ready. So 10 by 14.4. I only pre-cut basic white. I know lots of people who cut lots of layers and card bases and stuff, but I just keep my basic white layers cut. Alright, let's tidy up. I'm bringing our standard size cut and emboss machine, and for this one, because it's a 3D embossing folder, we just need our plate 1 and our plate 4. And that'll run through there really nicely, or it would if Lisa had it straight. Straight. Yeah, I've started to cut my plate there, look. At least it started to chew the plate, not the embossing folder. But because I didn't have it in straight, it's cut a sliver off that. Luckily it's the side, so it doesn't matter for the use of it. And that's why you should take care to make sure you've got your embossing folders and plates lined up. Right, how gorgeous is that? Loads of texture in that. What I thought we'd do is some blending on here. Let me grab my glass mat. Move those out the way. Sorry about the glare. It covers most of it. Right, what colour shall we do on here? I'm thinking something totally different that maybe isn't in the papers at all. How about if we go for strawberry slush? Let's go with some new ink colour. Right, do I have a blending brush? No, not that's got any on. Let's just have a go on the back. Oh, that has got a pink on it actually. Very faint. We'll be okay. Right, so let's put some ink on. Now this is quite juicy, it's quite a dark colour, so I am going to take quite a lot off. And then I'll just blend lightly. I'm holding this, you can see how lightly I'm holding it, because I don't want it to gather in all the crevices. I just want it to highlight that pattern. That's on. That's on. You can use both sides of this, and then if we go on that side, we can see. And it picks up like on here. That gives a much softer so we've got that that's like that, or that. There's more embossed, that's more debossed. So I think I am actually going to go with this side. I think I prefer that side. Right, so let me wipe this. In fact, I'll wipe it after because my cloth is in the other room because I've washed it. Okay. So I quite like that. as a something a bit different. And then we'll go with this and some tulips, I think. Can we go tulip? No, we'll go with these, the daisies. I really like this stamp. It's a beautiful stamp. Bring in matte. Is that block big enough? Yeah, I forget. I was going to make this a real simple card because of time, but it still can be. And we can stamp that on there, memento, and then we can colour it in with our blends. But I'm not going to colour it all on strawberry slush for our daisies. I'm using light and dark, and I'm just going to add some shading down the edges and on the bottoms. And around the top. I do love this image. Blend that in a little, just so that I haven't got a definite edge. I'm not blending to give lots of definition, just a little bit of shading, and so that there's not a definite edge. Okay, back to our dark. I do tend to use a bit more of a wiggly line and scribble. Not a scribble really, is it? But I don't want it straight. I'll have that going around there as well. Okay. These pens are very squeaky today. Didn't think I was pressing on particularly hard. I do. I'm not sure if I've actually used this. The strawberry slush. Might be that it's new. Because like everything, they have a bit of residue on them when they're made. That's nice. Happy with that. And again, this is one of those things that there's no right or wrong how to do it. Different people will have different ways of colouring them in. For me, it's just about bringing a bit of life to it, so it's just not one solid colour. Yeah, so I'm in a very pink mood today with my t-shirt. But I need to make a project for a blog, Insta hop that is pink. The middle of my flower, I think I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to do that a pinky. But what would go nice with, how about pretty in pink? No, I'll just go pretty in pink for wrong way, for the little blossoms. I'll just put a little bit of dark down and then go over with the light again. Oh wait. You probably won't be able to see the difference in this on camera. It's very subtle. Not done that one. Okay, I'm going to go with the darkness down there. Okay. And just blend that out a bit. I'm not being super particular on whether I colour every little bit of the area. Okay, so that's, I'm going to do this, a bit of a pink. But what pink should we do it? I'm Berry Burst too much. Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath might be nice. Or Petunia. Let's go Bubble Bath. It's a bit more pinky rather than Petunia Pop's a bit more of a purpley. And I think it might just look a bit odd against, because these are all quite pinky pinks, aren't they? And that's all right. I'll just put in the dark where the shading is on the stamp, really. Okay. Nice, liking that. And I am going to put, I know it's supposed to be a pink, but I am going to have a bit of green. But what green? I think I want a soft green. So I'm going to go for soft sea foam. That's dark. So just so that it's got a bit of, and this is almost a neutral, isn't it? It's so soft. Again, I'm just putting bits of shading in just to the bottom middles of the leaves and undersides of leaves. Not doing anything majorly fabulous. And on the stalk. It's terrible, isn't it, that I can't talk and do something at the same time. Like, what is going on? In fact, I'm really loving this combo. How cute is that? I love it. Right, let's die cut that out. Where's my die for that? Hopefully this will fit through the mini. Yes. It would have only been because of the size of the cardstock, the width of it, not because this doesn't fit through here, because I know it does. Oh, making sure it's all level. Can I get away without sticking it down? I think I can. Oops. Right. That's really cute. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so I'll have that on there. And I've got some ribbon. Some strawberry slush ribbon that we can, I think if I do a bit of a swoosh, just to, yeah, I like that. So let me put a bit of tape down the middle. Middle-ish. Add that there because that's about the middle of that. And then I just want that going off up there. That coming off down here. And that will go on top. Maybe that's just a little bit. So, right, dimensionals. It is quite a quick, simple card, really. Once we've coloured and done our effect for our background. After I've been doing a lot of backgrounds of late, I'm really enjoying using different techniques to create backgrounds. I think if we pop that, something like that, just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to do, I wonder if I'll do a soft sea foam card base. Not sure, we shall see. That's not the right size. Or is that not the right size? That is 14.4. That's 14.4. I thought that looked a bit, but do I want an extra layer on white? Green on white. No, that's too wishy-washy. How about white on the green? Oh, actually, that's quite nice. White on, yeah. Yeah, so all I want to do is trim this down a little bit, just by 2 mil. Okay, 14.4 comes to, let's do it on here. Just going to trim it down so that I can have a thin, do it that way. And that way. Just want to have a thin border, basic white. This is where having things cut ready helps. Okay, so that, oh, is that not right? That 10. Yes, what size is that? it again. Obviously I hadn't cut that one right, had I? Alright, that fits perfect on. Does it? No, it doesn't. I don't know what I'm doing today. I've lost it. Right, that's a nice border there. Right, and then we want a base, soft seafoam base, don't we? So I've got 2, so 10.5, score 14.9 cups. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's getting up too early and being too productive. I've now run out of productivity time, and my brain's just, yeah, saying enough's enough, Lisa. Right, yeah, white on green, definitely. Now my tummy's rumbling. And I've had breakfast today. Right, there we go. Pop that on there. So we've got a nice border round there. Brilliant. And then just pop that on there. It's a bit of a bigger border, which is nice. Oops. Not like that. And then I've got some bling to pop on. We've got these, which is strawberry slush with a bit of gold, or a bit in pink ones. Or we've got just actual strawberry slush. I think the lighter ones actually. I could do a mixture. Let's see. Use a lot of the lighter. Got no sentiment, have I? I'd love a nice happy birthday. Because I'm thinking this is a good birthday. But have I got a nice size happy birthday somewhere? Let me have a look what I've got up here. Simply said birthday wishes. Well, that would be nice. Yeah. Oh, piece of cardstock. Pumping that. Oh, there's a dragonfly in my garden. Quite a large one. Now my cat's going to go mad. I'm going to do that in the black because I'm stamping in the black. Fab. And then I want a die cut for that. Which, what dies have we got? Is there one in here that's big enough? Mixed labels. That's too big, isn't it? That's too big. What else have I got? What about our stylish shapes? I really like the stylish shapes. I use these a lot. What about a circle? That's not quite large enough. A banner that I can trim down. That might be okay. Let's have a go. And we can make it shorter. Pop that in with it where we want it. There we go. That hasn't moved, I don't think. So I've added that in right up to the end where we want it. And that just fits, but then I can reattach it, the holes, so that we can cut it shorter. There we go. And you can feel that it's slid back into place. Pop that on there. Okay, run that through just for that end. There we go. Let's get rid of that out of our way. And those, we don't need that no more. Okay, bring back in our card. We've got our lovely big happy birthday. I'm going to pop that on dimensionals too. I'm just going to put 3 there because that end will go over the top of flower stem. Oh, come on. Couldn't get the back off. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue onto there, just so that holds it down. Like so. Then we can put some embellishments on. I'm going to go for these brighter. I like those. Nothing wrong with having a big bit of bling. There we go. And that's our second card. Very pink. Totally different to our other one. Let me move my blends out the way. And that was our first card, which was a fun fold. So yeah, 2 very different cards using the same suite, but different products. But yeah, just goes to show how versatile one set of products, or one suite of products is, and you don't have to stick with the colour combos that's in the suite. You know, use them as you want. Right. Oops, I don't know what's going on there. That's the wrong. Thank you very much for joining me. Sorry I've run over a little bit. It's taken a bit longer than I thought, but with having a fun fold and doing a bit of a technique on the background, sometimes it takes a bit long. And I did waffle, didn't I, at the beginning, telling you all about the fantastic joining offer that we've got coming in October, and about my mini album tutorial that will be on my website tomorrow, which will be available to purchase. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, comment, thumbs up, give me a like. It all helps my channel. So yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you all again. I'll be back this evening at 7:30, where we'll be using the same suite of products to make a scrapbooking page. So do join me then. Thanks very much. Bye.